Hey, this God shot is about death. And, I've never died, obviously, but I've nearly died. Have you nearly died? A near death experience where you thought that was it? One time that comes to mind for me, I almost nearly died, I think, several times. One time that really comes to mind is I was young. I was going skiing, snowboarding or skiing. I think it was skiing at that point. Up in Vermont, I was on a mountain road going towards the ski resort, and the car in front of me started skidding, sliding all over the road, and I moved over to get away from him, and then I hit an ice patch. And my van, I was driving a van at the time, starts doing 360s on this mountain road. And on this side, there is a cliff that goes down forever. And I'm spinning around, and the railing that protected us from falling over was damaged. And when my van eventually stopped, it stopped at a point which is like this far from like where there was no more railing anymore, and I would have gone down and would have died. And I had my whole life flash in front of me. There's an expression of your light flashing in front of you, which is kind of like um, a, a kind of a sign of what we believe happens when we die. And that's the one thing you can count on. They say the one you can count on in life is death and taxes. Okay, the two things, death and taxes. While you're here, taxes. Someone's going to, make you pay for the services they provide. Okay? And then eventually your time in this reality is going to come to an end. But we believe that when we die, we will be with God, and there will be a review of our lives. And people that nearly die have that experience. They go down the tunnel and they meet Jesus in the light, and the light flashes in front of them. It's good for us to think about what that moment will be like as we go about living our lives. Okay? When you have to go back and look over your life with God, if it turns out that you strived to live a godly way and you lived your life for God and for love and for others, you'll melt into his heart, and that will be heaven. There is a choice when you die to reject God, to maybe look over your life and say, like, yeah, I only cared about myself. You know what? I had no use for love, for God, for anybody else, and I'm not changing that. So hook me up with that hell thing. We don't know if anybody actually is stupid enough to choose that. We know that there were angelic beings, there were spiritual beings that chose to not join God and not to serve God. Okay, but we don't know if any humans are. That's interesting and good to know, that we don't profess to know for sure that anyone is in hell. But it is a choice. Because if it wasn't a choice, and it wasn't an option, then heaven wouldn't be worth very much. What we also believe in is that there's a state of purgatory. It's a state of where you're getting ready for heaven. Okay? You're not ready for there because heaven is so amazing, okay, that you don't make a joke out of it by thinking like, yeah, everybody goes, doesn't matter what you did, just go to heaven, yeah. That isn't right. We all kind of know that. So then what happens to those souls that are on that way to heaven, but they're not there yet? It's called purgatory, and it's a state of getting ready for heaven. The best way that I've ever thought of explaining it to people, it's kind of like summer school. Summer school is, you go into the next grade, but you got to take care of some business first. You got to take a class or two and pass them before you go. Not that you can earn heaven. Okay, heaven is a gift. We will never, ever, ever be good enough for it. But there's a state of being, where you're there in that zone with it. And purgatory is a way in which we get there. A couple of things about purgatory, because you don't hear so much about it anymore. Everybody's kind of floating around up there with the like, yeah, everybody gets in, doesn't matter. This state of getting ready for heaven is something that your prayers and your love helps people that are who are there. I invite you to have a heart for praying for people in that state. If you have someone in your life who died and you're like, I don't know about them, pray for them. Your prayers, okay, help them through that state, okay, of getting ready for heaven. All right. So use this God shot as an opportunity to think about your life. Okay, are you on the road to heaven? I have created these God shots one intention, for helping you on your spiritual journey, uh, so that I have done something that we'll be in heaven together. That's all that matters. My whole life is just, you know, living in such a way, teaching in such a way. Everything is about so that we will all be together in heaven. So I want to encourage you to be bold about sharing the God shots with people that you care about. Maybe necessarily on the right path. You know, you can see that I presented pretty simply. So maybe it'll be a way for someone else to open up to God within them and to change their life. Okay? Be well. Love you. Praying for you. And if nothing else, hoping to see you in heaven. It's going to be some heck of a party. Okay? Yeah, but I'll see you again in this life. We'll party in the next. Amen.